Right from the start, the Ravens looked unbelievably dominant. Is this the best you've seen them look?
Yeah, I would definitely say so. And, I think defensively they made a pretty big statement, especially in that first half. Kept the Steelers to 18 plays. The Steelers averaged 2.6 on the ground. Very tough to win any playoff game when those are your numbers. And then you look at offensively, it was an absolute bloodbath. They bullied this team up front. When they needed to throw the ball, they made throws like that. You want to talk about a tight window. But just look at the movement that Baltimore is getting here. Again, this is in the red zone. Henry gets hit at the 2-yard line. He's going to get in there all the time. And then, of course, when they needed it, which was few and far between, Lamar made plays like this. Again, it was very risky because he takes a sack here, Kara. You're jammed. You missed the field goal at the half, but he still was able to make a play. And Henry, it's one thing if he breaks a bunch of tackles, you say, hey, this guy's really, a freak. It's another thing when he just goes untouched right up the middle of the field. There's a lot of things here, but I did think they did a great job of pick your poison. You want to try and take the pass game away, we'll give you Derrick Henry. You want to try and take Derrick Henry away, we'll give you Lamar running the football. It's certainly a dangerous team.
Oh, and they still had Justice Hill back there to help out as well. They just couldn't stop them at all. And, of course, everyone online is now talking like the Ravens are going to go and win the Super Bowl. Should we maybe be pumping the brakes on that one just yet?
I think they have a legitimate chance. I want to be very clear. Okay. They have a legitimate shot to win it. But I do not think you're going to play another team that's going to give you that first half. The Ravens are a tremendous team. I want to be very clear saying that. But if they see Buffalo next week or if they eventually see Kansas City, I can promise you it's not going to be that first half. I'm not saying they're not in the lead, but to sit there and score 21, pretty much run the ball at will, and only have the other team have 18 total plays, if there's no upsets tomorrow, I would be shocked if Josh Allen only has 18 total plays against his team in a half.
Yes.
So I do think they're going to need to execute a little more than they did today. But for what the challenge presented them, they absolutely handled business. So, again, I think it'll be tougher. I think they can still do it. But I don't think it's going to be one of those things where we just blow every team out like you saw today.
Sure. I am interested to see as well how banged up Lamar Jackson is. You could see him kind of looking like he was wincing a few times throughout that game. From Pittsburgh, not a great closing effort. We knew they were kind of limping into the playoffs, having lost their last 4 games of the regular season. 7 straight playoff losses now. They could not make an impact, and lots of fundamental mistakes here.
Yeah, Kara, you said it. I thought this was a division game. They were going to come out here with a lot of fight, a lot of good coaching, and we talk about fundamental football. Part of that is being gap sound, and what I mean by that is on defense, every person in the run game is responsible for a gap. This is what they call zone read. So what they've done here is they're taking T.J. Watt, and he's going to crash on the back. Someone needs to play backside. It should be Peyton Wilson, number 41. Again, T.J.'s going to crash. Peyton Wilson is blocked against a tight end here. He's going to lose his 10 times out of 10 with that leverage. Lamar breaks off. And again, we're going to crash again on Derrick Henry, and we have no one covering outside. What did they think? This is college-level offense. You're giving them free yards. And then watch this. Second half, we make an adjustment. We're going to scrape, but what do the Ravens do? Also adjust. We block the knife guy, who's Highsmith on this one, with Mark Andrews. So now all of a sudden, when Roberts runs, you've got a vacated middle linebacker, and that's how you go untouched. And this, to me, was the epitome of the Steelers. Watch the highlighted man here, R4, unblocked. He's supposed to be trapped. And why I wanted to show that play is that, generally speaking, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and this man right here, make plays all over the field. They come out here, they're wildly well coached, right? Hey, we're going to make a play on a kickoff. We're going to force a turnover. What happened? We come out here today, we have zone read football that we can't even fit up fundamentally. Our kickoff team, or kickoff return team, maybe we get a spark there. No, we leave the front side 4, which is a guy who makes a lot of tackles on kickoff, unblocked. It's totally, it was unbelievable. And I think, to me, right now, there's a lot of people who don't like Mike Tomlin, and I understand that to a degree. He's obviously had a lot of success there, but you hoping he would win the big one. I struggled with the game plan today as well. You came out in the first half, you tried to play his chess matchup, and you got absolutely kicked in the teeth. I don't know why it wasn't, hey, we're outgunned here. Let's try and coach this up so we're not letting free runners on kickoff and let Russ take shots down the field. Then it was too little too late.
This kind of seemed like the story of the Steelers' back half of the regular season. Slow starts and then some great plays in the second half, but not enough to catch up because they already dug themselves a hole. You mentioned Mike Tomlin. A lot of people are already talking about maybe he might be on the outs. I don't know that Pittsburgh is quite going to go there. But Russell Wilson is also someone that people are talking about. 270 yards in the air in the loss. Do you think they'll see him back under center for Pittsburgh next season? Give me some hope here.
I don't think so, Kara.
Okay.
And he also had a great second half. It's a little easier when you're down 21-0. I think the coverages on Baltimore side is a little more forgiving in that sense. But I look at Russ and what he's done here, and I think most Steelers fans will agree that, he's not consistent enough to win, especially in the division that they're in, with Joe Burrow, with Lamar Jackson. You can't come out here in a playoff game and go 7 for 9 and your longest completion be 9 yards in the first half against Lamar Jackson. You're going to get absolutely smacked. That offense, it's not all on Russ, I'm not saying that, but hung this defense, the Steelers defense, out to dry. And you have these flash moments in the second half where you're like, okay, this guy can still do it, but it's so wildly inconsistent that I think if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers and you want a legitimate shot at winning a Super Bowl in a conference, in a division that has Lamar, in a conference that has Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, you need a guy that's going to be consistent at quarterback, and you don't have one.
I know you want to say it.
Bring Aaron Rodgers to Pittsburgh next year. Bring him over.
We don't want Russell Wilson, but we also don't want Aaron Rodgers. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they have still not won a playoff game since 2016, while Lamar Jackson may be starting to alter that playoff narrative, improves to 3-4 all time in the playoffs. All right, let's head back to Kaylee Hartung, who is standing by with Derrick Henry.
Well, Derrick, you've been calling him MV3 for most of the season, but what did Lamar Jackson do to impress you most tonight?
I mean, L just being L, man. He does it every week, so it's no shock to us. I really don't think it should be a shock to anybody. He does it week in and week out. Like I said earlier this week, the best player in the league, so that's what's expected.
You all ran the ball twice as many times as it was thrown. What allowed you and him together to be so dominant in the run?
Well, I think it's just the guys in front of us blocking, the unselfishness, the will, the want to have a job on the offensive line, and they made our job much easier today. Much love, boy. Hey, much love. They made our job much easier today by blocking. We just had to go out there, get north to south, and get the most out of the play.
How'd that stiff arm feel?
My boy Minka, Bama boy, B-Side 5, it's all love. On the field is business.
You came to Baltimore to win a championship. How does this moment, winning your first playoff game here, compare to what you envisioned in coming here?
Yeah, I mean, this is yes, sir. This is step one. This is the first one. We're gonna enjoy this one, and then get back to work. But yeah, it's a great win. But we got 3 more.
Thanks, Derrick.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Just a huge game from Derrick Henry. 26 carries, 186 yards, 2 tutties. Just speak to the impact overall of King Henry in that one.
Yeah, and you got a quarterback who is self-admitted. He's been a little antsy, I think was one of the words in the playoffs. You know what makes you a little more relaxed at that position? When you can hand it to a guy who's going to average 7.2 and 186 yards and 2 tutties. Again, I like what they did today, especially early. And then we just went through the clip. The Steelers were so focused on taking him away that they just threw out fundamental defense. I think that Derrick Henry and the impact can not be felt more than it was today. The Steelers were all hands on deck to try and stop him. He still runs for 186. And it really opened up everything else in the run game.
It's wild because he himself has had an unbelievable season, regular season, and now to start the playoffs. Because of what Saquon did, it's almost put a little bit of a shadow over Derrick Henry. Maybe he's underappreciated for what he's been able to get done. It's his first playoff game since the 2021 season, and he makes a massive impact in Game 1.